everybody. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for investing a few minutes of your day today to spend time with us and check out the video. I'm very excited. We've got a leadership interview with Mr. Darryl Peak, Mr. Google, and he's going to be sharing with us some tips, tricks, and lessons learned that he's used throughout his career to become a stronger and more effective leader. Hopefully we can all take something away from this ourselves in our journey to become better leaders. So stick around and let's jump right in. So this COVID pandemic has been pretty impactful on business transformation, right? It's really been the driver for digital transformation in a lot of cases, as we've seen. So tell me a little bit about, Google's part in that and how you lead your teams and how you collaborate with teams in a virtual environment.
Absolutely. So joining Google, of course, we all have this grand expectation about the Mountain View facility, and actually I watched the internship in order to get some more insight. But to be honest, it was an amazing experience, and the team did a wonderful job in pivoting in order to orienting the employees that were joining virtually. And I joined virtually. I joined in July of last year, and they really started foundationally. Okay. Right, and they said, well, how do we offer you these opportunities? How do we create engagement utilizing the tools that we have? So, going through Google Drive and utilizing Google Meet to meet some of my other team members, both in the nation and also globally, and then being able to take this boot camp, complete it, and then have automation that reminded me of things that I needed to do and where I was on my journey. Oh, that's great. Not only that, but also the teams are so engaging. So I would say that we have to be purposeful in the way that we engage. We have to set aside the time and be empathetic. Right? You have some, and I'm sure you experience it as well. It's Google Meet calls where you have someone in their bedroom, or you have a child that comes on the screen. You have to be able to express empathy for those individuals and know that it's not based on time in seat and me looking at an individual, but the outcome we're trying to achieve. So the onus is on me as a leader to identify the strategy, the outcomes, and the KPIs in order for us to stay aligned and not me have to worry about how long you're sitting in your seat.
And that's difficult, right? A lot of organizations struggle with that, defining the outcomes first of all, and then measuring against those outcomes in a performance-based type of system. It's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
Okay, next question.
All right.
What have you found to be the most effective techniques when working to motivate your team?
One thing I learned growing up was you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that you should do more listening than you do talking. And I would say that coming onto a new team and coming into a new environment, you have to start with listening. Because if you don't listen to your team, you don't really understand what's going on. And coming in with a solution really does create certain levels of resentment. So being able to listen to your team members, know who they are, and once again, bring in that empathy, that actually builds trust. And I have to say that trust is based on proximity and values. And what proximity do we have with each other, and what values can we drive as outcomes?
Shared values,
The other thing is not just to focus on work, because we spend most of our time with the people at work, that there are some times where we have to relate as people.
Great point, man.
Because there are some skills that they have, there are some activities that they do that you have no idea. Right? You have musicians, you have artists, you have entertainers, you have people who play sports. Those things are so important and can bring certain dynamics to the team. If you know somebody who plays sports, then you know they're a team player. They can bring that skill to your team. But if you don't talk to them at that level, you really miss out.
No, that's a great point. I've often found that, going and having coffee with somebody or grabbing lunch with somebody or doing an interview with somebody, you often learn more and you achieve more in that relationship than you could have done with 20 hours of working together, because you do get away, you do get into the more human side of things, and you find commonalities. You find areas of overlap, which creates a stronger relationship. And all right, Darryl, next question. What is the most important advice you would give to an up-and-coming leader?
I love this question because I think about it so often, and it's often advice that I have to give myself, and that is having macro awareness but micro focus.
Okay.
And macro awareness is knowing everything that's going on in the world, knowing everything that's going on in the industry, and even going on within your particular environment. But at the same time, having micro focus in perfecting the outcome.
I like that.
And one of the things that I coach my mentees on is don't be in a rush to get to that next level, and perfect laying that perfect brick. The one story that I think about is Will Smith talks about when he was younger and his dad had him rebuild a wall.
Okay.
And it was a large wall, and he's like, how are we going to do this? And the father gave him such sound advice saying, don't focus on the wall, focus on laying the perfect brick.
I like that.
And that's the one thing that I would suggest to folks that
Nice,
are
man. I like that.
focus.
So macro awareness, micro focus. You heard it from Darryl Peak right here. That's a good one. So first of all, Darryl and I worked together at DHS for quite a few years. That's how we got to know each other. We had a great partnership there. So thank you for all your support, obviously there. You know, what's one of the most important leadership lessons you learned while at Homeland Security, and who did you learn it from?
So I was thinking about this question, and it wasn't just one. I would say there are so many amazing leaders at the department that I learned from, so I really appreciate all that experience. But I'll be able to pinpoint 4 individuals that really imparted a lot of wisdom onto me. I'll start with Ron Austin, and Ron is actually the reason that I came to DHS. I supported him at State Department.
Interesting, okay.
And he said, oh, you mind, you want to come into the federal government? And not knowing would be one of the best decisions of my life. And the 2 other individuals that I wanted to talk about, and that's Rob Palmer and Mike Hermes.
Yeah.
Both of them were just very much a breath of fresh air in that space because they wanted to buck the system a little bit.
I agree. Yeah.
And introduce new ways of delivering outcomes and get away from certain legacy mindsets that were settling in and not necessarily achieving the results that we were trying to achieve.
Right, yeah.
The other thing is the way they articulated the message.
Okay.
They really focused on the customer experience and being able to leverage certain skills out of design thinking and human-centered design in order to look at these billion-dollar programs and rethink them in a smaller way.
Right, right.
So I'm really excited about that. And last is Luke McCormick, because Luke really told me about leadership from building a strong team.
Okay.
And understanding you're going to have diverse members of your team and diverse viewpoints and skill sets, but that's actually what makes it stronger, not what takes away.
Yeah.
So I was really excited about that. But I would also talk about other team members that we had on supporting CTO, working with you and your team.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
many times I would come past the Blackstone office and just really do mind melds and say, well, what are some of the things that we should be thinking about? So talking to you, Keith, Chris, Amir, really did help, and even Lloyd helped solidify certain things that I did while I was there. So
I appreciate the shout out, man.
Listen, I definitely know that it was really critical towards our success. So I appreciate you.
Great interview, man. It's great to see you, buddy. Got a lot of love for you, man. So glad, so happy for you and your success, man. And thank you for taking a few minutes, to share some of your leadership secrets with me and with the group here. I'm sure we're going to use some of your gold nuggets and on our own journeys to become stronger and more effective leaders. So thank you,
Thanks,
and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.